Who doesn't love some Dig Dug in your pocket? Friendly little fella with a bike pump. It's Dig Dug on the Game Boy, where you get not one but two different versions of Dig Dug, starting with the arcade original. Sort of. It's a bit problematic that you can't see the entire screen at once. That's kind of important when playing Dig Dug. At least I think it is. But given the limitations of the old school original Game Boy, this probably was the best way to present the arcade-style Dig Dug to gamers on the go in 1992, which was a really long time ago, back when humans rode dinosaurs to work and the internet ran on your Atari 2600. To be brutally honest, the arcade version of Dig Dug on the Game Boy isn't really all that great. If you're familiar with the game, it's tough playing it without being able to see the full screen. Also, it doesn't run very smoothly. The Game Boy really struggles with this one. It really confines your movement, and I found that I couldn't change directions as quickly as I'd like to. Given the variety of other options when playing mobile versions of Dig Dug these days, I would not recommend the Game Boy version unless you're interested in playing New Dig Dug, which is like New Coke. It's tasty and refreshing, but different. Will it catch on and replace the original? Not likely, but it makes for a better game on the Game Boy. Seriously, it's kind of interesting, and I'm not sure if they released this version under a different name on other game consoles or something, but it works better on the small screen because, at least for me, I haven't developed a strategy when playing Dig Dug that requires me seeing the full screen. New Dig Dug is far more forgiving, at least in the early levels, as you're fighting enemies like normal, but you're also collecting keys that then unlock a door, allowing Dig Dug to escape the level. There's also bombs that you can drop, which increase the ultra-violence in Dig Dug. I approve. There's times when a bike pump just isn't enough. We've been watching Dig Dug, the original Game Boy cartridge, played on the Game Boy Advance SP during this review. And occasionally you'll see the game struggle with multiple enemies on screen, so kill them off, it becomes smoother. I think these new level designs in New Dig Dug are pretty cool. And even though I don't recommend this version of Dig Dug for the arcade version of the game, I do recommend it for the new version of the game, because it is something different. That's an extremely fun game to play on the go. It's also super cheap, and you'll have no problem finding a copy of Dig Dug for your Game Boy collection. Note the giant metal plates in the ground preventing Dig Dug from reaching certain parts of the level. Or is that coal? Or shale? Can you drill that for oil? Dig Dug could easily retire if he figured that out. And then he wouldn't have to work so hard in all of the mobile versions of Dig Dug, like the iPhone and iPad. Whoops, probably should have cleared out that last bit of dirt below me. It's Dig Dug on the Game Boy, highly recommended, for New Dig Dug.